Well, hello and welcome to our Tuesday encouragement for this week. Of course, our Tuesday encouragement this week surely has to make reference to the football across the course of the weekend. I'll come to that in just a moment, but before I do, I want to ask you, what's your favourite parable? If you could pick one parable, one short story with a big message that Jesus shared, I wonder what yours would be. For me, my winner every time, and perhaps this won't surprise some of you to hear this, is the story of the lost son, or of the prodigal father, or of the prodigal son, call it whatever you like, that Jesus told. And I want to read that story to us in just a moment. I guess this is my favourite story because I can relate to the story, and maybe that's why we choose a favourite parable. Maybe somehow we can see ourselves somewhere in the story. And every time I hear this parable, I'm reminded of the incredible fact that my God, my Father, has embraced me and he loves me, despite the things in life that I've gotten wrong. And I just want to read this story to you this morning from the Message, and then just make one very brief comment about the football at the weekend, if I can as well. The story that comes from Luke chapter 15 says this. Then he said, there was once a man who had two sons. This is Jesus speaking. The younger said to his father, Father, I want right now what's coming to me. So the father divided up the property between them. It wasn't long before the younger son packed up his bags and he left for a distant country. There, undisciplined and dissipated, he wasted everything that he had. After he'd gone through all of his money, there was a bad famine all through that country and he began to hurt. He signed on with a citizen there who assigned him to the fields to slop out the pigs. He was so hungry he would have eaten the corn cobs in the pig slop, but no one would give him any. Now that brought him to his senses, and he said, all those farmhands working for my father to sit down to 3 meals a day, and here I am, I'm starving to death whilst they eat. I'm going to go back to my father and I'll say to him, Father, I've sinned against God and I've sinned before you. I don't deserve to be called your son. Take me on as your hired hand. He got right up and he went home to his father. When he was still a long way off, his father saw him. His heart pounding, he ran out, he embraced him and he kissed him. The son started his speech. Father, I've sinned against God and I've sinned before you. I don't deserve to be called your son ever again. But the father wasn't listening. He was calling to the servants, quick, bring a clean set of clothes and dress him, put the family ring on his finger and sandals on his feet, and then get a grain-fed heifer and roast it. We're going to feast. We're going to have a wonderful time. My son is here, given up for dead, but now he's alive, given up for lost, but now he's found. And they began to have a wonderful time. Well, I don't know whether you're much of a football fan yourself, whether you consider yourself to be an England fan, and England winning or losing really was the most important thing. For me, I was fairly dispassionate about the result. I'm pleased Italy won. It would have been lovely if England had won. Of course, if there's one thing we need to be really clear on, it's all the racist abuse and the nonsense which has happened as a consequence of England's loss. That really is disgraceful, and we need to name it for exactly what it is. But there's been one image that's particularly struck me from the World Cup, and it's the photograph that you can see now on your screen. The image of Gareth Southgate, the manager, and Bukayo Saka embracing one another after Saka had so unfortunately missed that penalty with all that pressure. And again, I would say so clearly, the racist abuse that he's been the recipient of is absolutely disgraceful, and there's no place for it. But I do think that this hug is really significant, and I feel really moved when I look at this picture. I see Gareth Southgate, the image like a father, embracing this young lad, just reminding him it's okay. It's all right. We're in this together. You're part of this footballing family. Saka, of course, is a Christian, as you may have discovered in the course of the Euro competition. And I just wonder how precious that hug was for Saka. I wonder for him whether or not, as he received that embrace from Gareth Southgate, whether he was reminded of how much his Heavenly Father loves and delights in him today. My great prayer for Saka is that he's able to hear that message from his Heavenly Father loud and clear today. You're loved and you're cherished. The fact that you missed a penalty actually is completely irrelevant. You're loved and you're cherished. Feel the embrace. And I just wonder for us today whether we need to hear that message for ourselves as well. That we're sons, we are daughters of a Heavenly Father. And no matter what's happened in our lives, no matter what we've done in our lives, we're loved and we're embraced by our Heavenly Father, who when we come back to him, when we choose to be in relationship with him, runs towards us with his arms stretched wide, ready to hug us and say, you're mine, you're family, and I delight in you.
He is jealous for me. Love's like a hurricane. I am a tree bending beneath the weight of his wind and mercy. When all of a sudden I am unaware of these afflictions eclipsed by glory, and I realize just how beautiful you are and how great your affections are for me. And oh, how he loves us all. Oh, how he loves us, how he loves us all. He is jealous for me. Love's like a hurricane. I am a tree bending beneath the weight of his wind and mercy. When all of a sudden I am unaware of these afflictions eclipsed by glory, and I realize just how beautiful you are and how great your affections are for me. And oh, how he loves us so. Oh, how he loves us, how he loves us all. Yes, he loves us. Oh, how he loves us. Oh, how he loves us. Oh, how he loves. And we are his portion, and he is our prize, drawn to redemption in the grace of his eyes. If grace is an ocean, we're all sinking, and heaven meets earth like a sloppy wet kiss, and my heart turns violently inside of my chest. I don't have time to maintain these regrets when I think about the way that Oh.